Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Froe Show. My name is Frank Menken and I'm joined, as always, by my beautiful co-host, Joe Murray.
Hello, Frank.
And we are joined by not one, not two, not three, not four.
What?
But like 30 guests today. Can everyone say hi, hello?
Sick.
That's absurd. Thank you
so
all
weird.
so much for coming. We talked a little bit about the live show in prior episodes. First of all, I want to get kind of a gauge and an understanding of how many people here have actually listened to an episode of our show. Just put a hand up. Oh, wow. Okay, that's significantly more than I had anticipated. So we've talked a little bit in the past couple of weeks about doing a live show.
Yep.
We also kind of forgot to actually talk about what the live show was. So really quickly, you're all here, that's great, but we're going to talk to the people that no one can see right now. So the live show is basically an event that we've put on in our warehouse with a bunch of people that are actually physically here, which means we can actually ask them questions and talk to them and interact with them, which has been immediately a very strange experience, I'll be totally honest with you. And I need to come clean about something to everyone here.
That's
today.
never good. There's something like that. I always worry.
This is technically not episode 100. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Technically, this is episode 105.
Yes.
Joe, do you want to explain a little bit as to why that's the case?
Yeah, well, with the whole... There was just a whole bunch of things that happened. Episode 100 was meant to be, I think, late January, right? And a whole bunch of things happened which meant we couldn't do something like this at the time. So we decided to postpone episode 100 and record episode 99 and then 101. So this is still going up as episode 100.
Yeah. But it's going to make my life significantly harder over the next forever.
Yes.
Because every episode from now, it's going to say episode 105, but it's actually going to be episode 106.
Right.
So it's going to get a lot harder for me, but that doesn't affect you at all.
No, that doesn't affect me. I do audio, so it's fine.
Yeah.
I don't care.
But coincidentally, this is also our 2-year anniversary of the show.
Yeah.
That's
Crazy.
not planned.
No.
It just happened to be that by total coincidence, the week that we chose to have this live show is also the 2-year anniversary. So
Yep.
I don't know how many of you have looked in this spray bay over here, which is what we lovingly call it, but this is our room where it used to be a place where they sprayed taxis and they would paint them. But currently in there is a whole setup of like the 2 years that Joe and I have been doing the show and creating the show. So if you haven't been in there yet, we'll open these doors after the show and you can have a walk around and look through all those photos and see the show progress in a much quicker time frame than it actually happened. Yeah. But before we even get into any of the actual show stuff, Joe, do you want to talk a little bit about how I managed to rope you into doing a podcast in the first place?
Yeah, well, it's not a really long story. It's sort of classic Frank fashion, off the cuff. One afternoon, Frank was just like, do you want to film a podcast tomorrow or something? And I was like, yeah, okay. And me thinking, three episodes, we'll do this for 3 weeks or something, it'll be fun, be something we just do, I don't know, for lols or whatever. I had no idea what we were going to talk about, no idea what, like the scope of it, what it was going to be, and 2 years later, we haven't missed a week.
Yeah.
So
every single week we've made an episode.
Yeah, so insane that. But yeah, no, I didn't expect it to come anywhere near like what it has become. I thought, 3 weeks, 3 episodes. We'll film 3 episodes in one night and then that'll be it or something. But yeah.
In total, 2,000 individual people have listened to us talk.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's scary.
That's a number. And you know what's weird? Is that having 30 people in this room
this
feels
scarier.
much bigger. Yeah. But I have a little surprise for Joe. And I love doing this sort of thing. But I have the first 30 seconds of the first episode of the podcast that we ever did.
You know what? I thought about doing this, but I was like, no, I'm not going to put Frank through that. I'm not going to do it.
I'm going to do it. I don't care. I don't care. I'm going to put you through it because I already listened to this several times.
I didn't want to do it myself.
I want you all to understand, right? This is... I think we would have been 18, 19? 18. 19. Something
like that.
Young.
Yep. 19.
Fresh
19.
out, yeah. And this was off the cuff. What we thought the show was going to be was it was going to be a news segment-based show where we talked about individual things that happened that week. So it was like Ryan Gosling has a new movie, and then we like give our opinions on that. And then we realized very quickly that no one cares.
That
and
is
that
boring.
Was not interesting at all. And we learned that very quickly, immediately from my wonderful father, who gave his immediate response. I was like, no, this sucks. You guys need to do something different.
This is bad.
Yeah.
Try again.
But yeah, so that was the plan for the original show. And I'm just going to play it.
Do you remember the original name of the show?
I do. Do you?
No.
It was called...
But yes, Art Block.
Yeah.
Yeah, Art Block.
It was going to be called the Art Block
How
Podcast.
boring.
That was because it was originally going to be a solo show.
Yes.
And I based it on my... I can't say that. I actually can't say that. But I based it on... Don't worry about it. I won't say that on record. But anyway, I'm just going to play it.
Yep.
And you guys can all enjoy the immense cringe
The
that we
cringe.
feel every time we listen to this.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Froe Show.
Show.
My name is Frank Menken. I am your host, and I'm here with my co-host,
Joseph Murray.
Little Joe, Little Joey. Welcome.
Yeah.
First episode. How do you feel?
Feeling great.
Feeling great? Feeling
Yes.
excited?
Very excited.
Very excited. We kind of went all in, didn't we?
We did.
We did not.
Straight in with the lights and the camera and the microphones and everything.
Yeah, well, all or nothing. You gotta.
That's the first 30 seconds of the first episode of the podcast.
Wow.
And you can
Okay.
see in the spray bay there is a photo of the first frame of the first episode of the show.
I'm actually very happy to say that it looks way better than it sounds.
It does. It absolutely does,
Yeah.
which is not a good thing for an audio engineer to
No,
say.
but I said it. It's on record. It's there. It's there.
But yeah, so we were making the show and we decided that we were going to do it weekly. And so we were just making the show and kind of making our way through creating this podcast and at the same time learning how to actually be personalities online, which is a whole different ballgame to being a personality in person. Because in person you're like, yeah, I'm interesting. People love talking to me. And then you put a microphone in front of your face and it's like, wow, I suck. I can't.
This is the Froe Show.
Yeah. Also, quick side note.
Yep.
In that, I said, we've gone all in with the camera and the lights and the microphones. The camera that we had was like a $300 camera. The light was like a IKEA lamp that we had set up. And the microphones were two different microphones going
That's
through
right.
like three separate outputs, recording to two different computers
Yep.
that we then synced in post. It was like this whole convoluted setup.
One was, and even they weren't even the same microphone. Like they weren't even the same type of microphone.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was ridiculous.
Anyway, but it was bad, is what I'm saying. Don't go back. It's
Don't
the
watch
point. There's no point. This show is not a show that you watch in chronological order from start to finish.
Please don't do that.
But as we built the show and as we grew and as we were making these episodes, we started realizing that we didn't need to talk about news segments every day. And you know, we're 10 minutes in now. I think we can. I forgot to tell everyone. You're all guests tonight, right?
Yep.
Which means that I'm going to pull some of you up on stage. And these mics aren't here for no reason, you know. And I see someone skulking down into their couch because they know that they're first. But I'm going to tell the story first of how we met. And then I'm going to pull them up on stage and publicly embarrass them on record for the second time. But what happened was, I was on a lovely shopping trip with my father, and we were walking around North Lakes Shopping Centre, which is our local area, and it was lovely. We were having a great time. I think did we see a movie that day? We saw a movie. We saw a movie that day, and then we went to Kmart and we were walking around and having a great time. And then out of the corner of my eye, I see this person walk past, and I go to my dad and I'm like, I swear I know them from something. And I'm like, this is like probably someone that I've met in high school or something. And they're like, they walk off, and then later on we walk past again, and I'm like, no, I definitely know them. He goes, go talk to them. And in my head, immediately at that moment, I was like, oh shit, that's Maddie. I follow her on TikTok.
Yeah.
And I go up to her and I have the most awkward conversation of my entire life.
That was fine.
I was like, hi, I follow you on TikTok. And we took a photo and that was the extent of it. And then that night I sent her a message and was like, hey, I have a podcast. I didn't ask Joe if I could do this.
This was episode...
We just recorded 19.
19.
Yeah, I hadn't asked Joe if we were ever going to do guests, if we were ever going to have other people on the show. The format of the podcast was still very much a news show at this point. And then I messaged Maddie that night and was like, do you want to go on this podcast that I have that wasn't even fully formed yet? So Maddie, I would love if you could come up and join us on stage here. You want to grab that one over there? Welcome, Maddie.
Welcome.
Thank you. I wasn't prepared for this.
I don't think anyone was. And that was kind of the intent. I pulled you on stage for a reason. Because we have a story to tell you of the day before you came on the podcast.
Okay, so I don't have to do any talking?
I mean, maybe, if you want.
Okay.
But more so, I just want your reaction to this story.
Yeah.
Joe, I think you should tell this one, because I think you have the most visceral reaction.
Yeah. So I think all of that story, the meeting you, I think all that happened like 3 or 4 days before we were planning to film. I think. Or maybe it was a week before. Anyway, it was really close. And so the next day we were when you said yes, we suddenly went, oh crap, we don't have the facilities to host another person. Like, we don't even have a third chair in this room. That's not like a stool from the kitchen or something. Like, we have to do something. And so we immediately rushed to North Lakes, to IKEA, bought a brand new chair.
Oh, wow.
Just for you.
Oh, I'm so special.
And brought it home, set it up, and there was something else. Oh, we also were like, no, we need to make her feel really welcome. We have to do something. We have to make her feel welcome. We have to get more people on. And so we're like, oh, we'll make a little platter. Like, we'll have food.
You did?
Yeah. So we're like, and then came the freak out of like, what does she eat? Like,
I did the same thing with you guys.
yeah. So we ended up with this. I'm pretty sure it was a really widespread platter of just like.
It was very fancy.
Please eat something. But the stress I felt between when you said yes to when the episode had finished was more than I had like doing this event. It was insane.
It was just such a big step for us to have a guest on the show. At all. Like, let alone someone that we didn't know. And then to have the show be out of my house and just have you rock up at my front door, like in the middle of nowhere.
It was lovely. It was a good drive.
But like, I in hindsight, I was like, man, like I would not have done that. Like, I would just be scared of being murdered. Like, obviously,
Me?
Yeah.
I get myself in some crazy situations. Yeah, no, I was definitely not saying no.
But it was fun. We had a good time.
It was great. So did
like,
I.
and like, in all seriousness, that interview and that like episode itself completely changed the trajectory of the show, like forever. So we owe all of this. No, genuinely, like this event and like what the show is now is thanks to that. So thank you so much for coming on the show that first day. It's weird, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm so uncomfortable right now.
But really quick, I'm going to let you go in a second,
thank you.
just to end your pain. But before you go, is there anything that you're working on at the moment that you want to plug or you want to share or anything along those lines?
I would love to say yes, but no, I've just gone back to uni, so that's where my focus is right now.
Fair enough.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, if there ever is anything, we will plug it on the show immediately.
Thank
You can leave now before you pass out. Thank you, Maddie. We appreciate you. But yeah, that was definitely a 48 hours.
Oh,
that we
I don't
had.
think I slept. Man, that was.
I remember beforehand as well. The show, as we've gone, has gotten looser and looser and way less planned.
Yeah, well, like, I don't even know what we're talking about next, right now.
Yeah, I mean, I do.
Okay,
I
good.
ran you through
I'm
it like
glad.
6 times.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, so the show's gotten much, much looser as we've gone on. Yeah, you're proud of that one?
Yeah. So I've got someone to laugh.
He's your cousin. It doesn't count. Yeah, but the show's gotten way, way looser as we've progressed. And I think going on... And then, who was our next guest after that?
It was John from Chicago, I believe.
Yeah. He didn't send me he didn't reply to my message.
Oh, didn't he?
So
He's
I
a
had
very
this
busy
I
man
had this
now.
grand idea right before this live show of having all of the prior guests that can make it be here and all the prior guests that can't make it send in like a video message or an audio message to be like, this is what I'm working on now,
Yeah.
you know, all that fun stuff. None of them replied.
Oh.
They replied to my message. They were like, yeah, it sounds good. And then like as soon as I was like, can you send that through this week somewhere? They were like, dead silence, crickets. So
Okay.
I'm going to do that now for them
Okay.
really, really quickly. So the first one is John.
Yeah.
John's business, John is a drone pilot. His business has exploded. He's like the #1 FPV drone pilot guy in Chicago, which is absurd.
And he does photography as well for like football.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so I don't know anything about football. NFL?
I don't know. Yeah, NFL.
NFL.
The American football.
AF.
NFL. The gridiron. Just stop trying. It's not.
I hear words,
not.
but like they're just... Anyway, he does all that stuff
Yeah.
now. And then our next guest after that was Ian,
Yeah.
who I will pull up in a
See ya.
second.
Over there.
So, you know, he's got the fit, he's ready.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But then after that it was Micah, I think.
Was it?
Must have been. Yeah, it was Micah. And so Micah is
Okay.
working on a bunch of art projects. They actually have a gallery in the city tomorrow. So if anyone's free and wants to check that out, you guys should go. But I think those are the only two guests that we had that haven't actually been able to make it tonight.
I'm looking around trying to find them.
Unless I've totally forgotten someone that we've interviewed.
Yeah, there's one there. There's one there. There's one there. No.
And there's one
Oh
there.
no, yeah. Last week's episode.
Last week's episode. Oh,
Yeah.
Over It Man.
Yeah. He's not here.
Oi,
Or is he upstairs?
is he? Does anyone know if he? He's not here. He said he was coming later.
Okay.
All right. Well, Ian, I'm going to pull you up now as our next guest. Welcome. Oh, you're coming this side.
Oh,
All right.
okay.
Love for
Wow.
now, so
Sit over there.
You know what?
Give you a
I
little
agree.
bit.
It's good to see you.
how you doing?
Yeah, good.
Before we talk, I want to
Oh.
say congratulations.
Thank you.
Seriously.
Thank
That
you.
really means a
Seriously.
lot.
Can we get some noise from the crowd? Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Oh, you guys are too nice. I'm like actually getting a little. Anyway, carry on.
Yeah, a little
It's
red.
good to have you back.
Yeah.
We literally had you on the show last. This is you are actually. Hang
I'm
on.
a returning guest.
You're the most returning. How do I say that?
The
What do I say?
two-time.
Made the most appearances.
Yeah, that.
Yeah,
the guest with the
sick.
most appearances.
Guested the most.
You have been the most guesting.
I'm the VIP.
Yeah. Welcome. What? Frequent. Thank you.
Thank you, English.
The most
person
frequent
over
guest.
there.
We got there. No, I feel like you've now been in and experienced like the most amount of growth through the show because your
Yeah.
episode was episode 50.
Yeah. And you made me come out to your house the same
Yeah.
way
I
as
did. Yeah.
Madison,
So
and I was wondering.
every guest that is currently here has had the same experience except for Julian.
Julian, yeah.
He's the only one that hasn't been forced to come out to the middle of nowhere. I had to come to. We had to pay you to be here. But no. So I wanted to ask you, in all seriousness, what do you think has been like the biggest change between the first episode that you had on the show to, well, not necessarily this episode because this is definitely an outlier,
Yeah.
but the one that you were on last week?
First of all, it was in your house, and now it's in a warehouse, so that's always a plus.
I don't know. That's an upgrade, right?
That's an upgrade.
Yeah, all right.
That's an upgrade. Nothing against your house. Nothing against the house at all. Honestly, from when I've been sitting in here and watching you guys do the podcasts, when I'm just working on my own thing, the quality of conversation has come a long way. What you guys talk about, the value you bring to people has come a long, long, long way. Especially when I had the return with Over It Man. Insane. The way we were talking, the way you guys control the show. And it's obvious from the first 30 seconds, you know, you guys are talking about some less popular topics, and now we're talking about some crazy stuff. So
Yeah. I mean, like, what, 2 years ago we were talking about, like, Mel Gibson.
Yeah. Trying to get him on the
I don't
show.
know why
remember
that's
that.
the first thing I
don't know
thought
either.
of.
I remember we had that news segment where we would literally read news articles for 10 minutes. Do you remember that?
How many people watch that?
Wait,
Do you
we
mind me
still have
asking?
to... Guess. I reckon it's
Wait.
a blue one. Blue one.
No?
No, that's not it. There it is.
This is our news segment audio.
Welcome to Channel 5 News featuring Frank Mencken and Joe Murray.
That was like a whole thing that we did. That was beautiful. I might clip that.
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
We're
You gotta
bringing
pay
back
me.
the news segment.
Royalties is 30%, by the way, just letting you know.
That's pretty steep. Maybe not.
We might have a meeting about this and we'll get back to you. Is that cool?
Yeah, in the networking event.
I think that's something that we've actively been working towards, and I think it's two really big things: is getting way more comfortable speaking and sharing what we feel, but also the relationship that we build with guests before we actually even start the conversation.
Definitely.
Has been something that we've kind of unconsciously done, but has been a really important part of creating an interview-based show.
Yeah.
Because really, that's what we've ended up working towards. Like, we started the show as like, we're going to do news segments and we're going to talk just to each other, and then maybe we'll talk about The Shining. Great movie. You should watch that movie.
You should.
And then now we're working towards being... What? You love don't give me that like you don't like The Shining.
No, I'm just... No. Reacting to how you're talking. It's funny. It's what I do every week.
All right. I didn't even know what my train of thought was. Let's talk about your clothes. Because I want
talk about
every prior guest to have an opportunity to plug their stuff. So let's talk about what you're working on. What are you doing? Show me, give it a full 360.
There you go.
Stunning.
I love this.
Pretty much, I've been just working on like really one-of-one custom clothing. I used to do a bit of music, and I still love that stuff and do it in my spare time. But right now, I'm sort of focusing on fashion, and just a little sneak peek for everyone here. There's potential fashion show this year with very crazy things going on. So keep an eye on that. I might be the 3-time on the podcast. Can I come back?
You can be 4th time on the podcast.
This is 3.
This is 3. Current, now, this is 3.
Yeah, 6. That sounds good. Maybe 4 time then. But yeah, so I've been working on my clothes, and you'll see a lot more of that coming soon.
Yeah. I'm excited. I'm so stoked for that. I wanted to run an idea, but I'm going to turn away from Joe right now.
Secluded.
Joe can't.
No.
This is a secret. I want to do more live shows in the future, right? And I think for the next live show,
He's whispering in my ear. Hang on.
I think for the next live show, I want to do an awards show with like all the prior guests and stuff. And I think that for the next one, we should do one where it's like the most favorite guest of the people.
Ooh.
So I think you can start campaigning for that.
Yeah, I think I could.
All right, do you want to
The Froe Awards?
Yeah, done. Do you want to campaign real quick? Do you want to do a quick campaign?
Quick campaign?
Yeah.
Vote for me.
Really quickly, before I send you, because I am going to send you away in a second, because we actually have quite a few people to get through. Yeah. I wanted to get your opinion on something that we haven't shared on the podcast yet, and
This is the first.
I haven't slept in about a week for this reason.
Where is all this stuff coming from?
What do you? You made this. What do you?
Oh, no.
Oh, my knees.
Oh, I know
Okay.
what it is now.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
So, Joe and I have been talking.
I'll model.
Are you going to model? Are you going to go put one on?
I'm taking my shirt off.
Okay. Joe and I have been talking for a very long time about creating merchandise for the show.
Yeah.
And as of this episode, we have our first ever piece of merch for the Froe show. Which is so unbelievably
You
exciting.
can't get that anywhere else. You can't
Nowhere
get that
else.
anywhere
You
else.
also can't buy these right now. We're working on it, but we had to have something for today's episode. I've spent the past week trying to make t-shirts.
Now you know how hard it is.
Yeah, you can vouch me. I've been here till like midnight, every night the past week trying to get...
People have to look at the Frank Mencken movies because they got to see your first time screen printing.
I didn't ask him to
I'm going to
do
leave
that.
it up
That's
to you.
fantastic.
That's a mysterious. You'll see. Was it good? Was it bad? I don't know.
Yeah, well, I'm going to try and figure that out. But they will be available very, very soon once I've figured it out.
How to do it. This was the final resort.
Yeah, but we have merch.
Very
Anyway,
much so,
thank you so much for
good.
coming back up. We really, really
Thanks
appreciate
again.
it.
Thank you.
Woo! Man, this is going so unbelievably
I know,
fast. I just
I know.
looked back at it and it's like 30 minutes already. Whew. Anyway, moving on. That was episode 50.
Okay.
So I'm just going to, really quickly, I'm going to look in
You
the
know,
thing.
check what.
Ooh, what do we got next? Oh, okay. All right. Next
we're going
up.
by that.
Yeah, well, I'm not necessarily going by that,
Okay.
but that is a timeline of how we...
Yeah, I think I know what the next one is.
All right, go on then.
Is it the outdoor episode?
Oh, I was gonna get
over
there.
that? Oh,
I was gonna,
okay.
you know.
Jeez.
But just you know what? Go from Ian's episode. What happened then?
What happened after Ian's episode? Oh, well, 2 weeks later was 1 year, because that was episode 50.
Yep.
And I believe for the 1 year, we wanted to do something special, just like this, for 100. But we couldn't organize anything, didn't want to do anything, I don't know. So we ended up doing, we were like, let's take the show outdoors. Let's go like on a sidewalk or something and talk to people. Anyway, that fell through. We didn't want to talk to anyone.
Was that what happened? Did we not want to talk to people?
No, we didn't want to talk to people. So we're like, let's go as far away from people as we can and go to the top of a mountain. And so that's what we did. We took the set and all the audio gear and the camera to the top of a mountain and filmed on the top of a mountain. And as I recall, the first shot is us like really quickly running through the intro and and then all of a sudden revealing this thing because there was a cow standing right behind the set and we were like rushing so it didn't move.
And important clarification point: the set looks really good on video, but our original set was a very cheap like metal frame.
Like you blow on it and it'll fall over.
And then there was. I went to Spotlight and I spent $100 on curtains, and it was like these terrible, like the cheapest curtains you could possibly buy, and I'd just thrown them on this frame. And so when we did this, we had the cow like dead center of the frame, and we like revealed between the curtains.
And there's a cow.
There was a cow there, and that was our special guest for that episode.
And about 30 seconds later, the thing fell over and we just kept going.
And then we had severe audio issues for that whole episode.
Yep.
And
Yep.
video issues. So that episode barely made it out.
Yeah.
And it's not really listenable. Hopefully this one is.
Yeah, hopefully. Surely.
I was going to make the meanest joke then.
Yeah. So
you
was I,
really
but-
set yourself up for something terrible. But I
Don't say it. Don't say it.
you're already here,
There's
Josh.
30 people in the room.
All right, that's all.
Move it along.
Anyway, then we did. That was our 1 year anniversary,
Yeah.
which was like immediate. Like that was. I think that was the first moment that we both kind of realized, like, oh, we're doing this.
We're in for the long run.
This
now.
isn't like I think there's a very distinct difference between like, we're doing this, and then like, we're doing this.
We can't stop.
Yeah. And then that was also the point where like some of the episodes were starting to get listens and people were actually starting to notice the show. And then from there we kind of got busy.
Yes. Yep.
Which was not a good time to do that.
No.
And we both kind of fell into this creative rut for like 30 episodes.
Yeah. It was like 6 months. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's quite a few episodes in that gap there where it's like, fine. Like there's no real
That's
content.
a really good way to describe a show.
Yeah, it looks really
Fine.
nice. We had a new set. We like had moved into this new set that we'd built.
That's right. Yeah.
And it looked really, it looked schmick, you know?
Yeah.
I've never used that word in my life.
Schmick.
Schmick.
There you go.
But we moved on to this new set, and it was just okay. And I think we spent a really, really long time trying to get out of this creative rut. And I know how I did that, and I've talked about that a lot on the podcast already, so I'm not going to rehash that. But I want to get your opinions on how did you get out of that creative rut yourself?
Oh man, it's honestly still going on a little bit, but moving into this space was definitely a big kick on because we moved out of your house because the second set was not in the house; it was in the shed in the front yard.
With no
So-
fans, no air conditioning,
No fans.
filming all through summer.
Oh, it was so hot.
If you look at any of those
Man.
episodes, we are shiny.
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of The Shining,
It's good movie. You should watch it.
God, I love that movie.
Yeah, so when we never really knew what the show was going to be in that space, and we couldn't figure it out, and just being there, it was all too clean, and it was like...
Not physically clean, but
On camera, it looked clean. You open the frame a little bit more. It wasn't. There was spiders on the walls and everything was terrible. But no, so yeah, we just couldn't get out of that space. It just felt like, for me, it felt like we'd gone, it like moved laterally. Like it was the same, moving from that set to this one. It looked different, but it wasn't. It didn't feel different.
It functioned the same.
Yeah. So then, I guess moving here with all these really creative people and this space, like all these paintings around, like these are so sick. Like it just sort of pulled us out, and we're like, oh, there's actually a lot going on here. We should probably do more stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And then I want to get you to talk. I'm gonna save one guest for last.
Okay.
Because I think they're gonna be they're technically the next guest that we had on the show, but I'm gonna pull them up right at the end because they're busy. But immediately after all of this happened, in December last year, we came to this space for the first time, and it was for an event. And I was going to say their name, but they still haven't given me the prints I bought off them, so I'm not going to give them the free plug.
Not plugging them.
But the event was really cool, and the space was all set up similarly to how it is now, but obviously it was like a different kind of event. And then I was talking to Ian, because he's in this space. I was talking to him, and I was like, how do we get in here?
Yeah.
Like, what is the process of starting that? And then he said, you need to talk to this guy. He's over there. He's at the front desk. You need to get him up, and you need to have a quick chat with him. So I want to invite Julian onto the stage really quickly. In the coolest jacket I have ever seen in my life. Welcome.
Is very cool.
I'm going to put your mic. I have to turn your mic on. Sorry, dude.
1 2 1 2.
There we go.
Hey,
Welcome,
going?
Julian.
Thanks for having me.
Man, we're just giving everyone a second episode. This is great. I don't know what the title of this is. This title of this episode going to be like live show featuring Madison Beasley, featuring Julian, featuring Ian.
I mean, if you want to write all that, you can. I don't know.
But Julian is the warehouse manager? Is that the
Studio manager.
studio
is what I
manager?
say.
Sorry.
Warehouse manager.
But we spoke to you that night, and we came up to the desk and we're like, "How do we get in on this?" And you gave us like there's like this like 8-page document.
It's 3 pages. Come on.
12-page document.
It's not that hard.
And it was
Put your blood here and where's your DNA? Yeah.
and we spoke to you, and I think you were like, like the vibe that you gave off was like, yeah, right. Like these dudes are gonna, they're gonna look at it.
I'm going to
give them the paper and send
give
them
it
home.
to someone else.
And then I think that night or the morning after, I was like, yeah, we're gonna do it.
Yeah.
We're gonna sign the paper.
I remember being like, oh shit, hell yeah, like, let's go. I remember what stood out to me was like, I was like, so there's this room which is really cool, and there's this space which is cool, and there's this shitty room where I'm in, and you're like, I want to be there. And I was like, why? And it's like, because you're there. And I'm like, what the fuck?
But you're like, all right, I'm gonna put him in the office on the other side of the warehouse.
No, but it was really good because I was like, I'm glad you get what's going on here.
Yeah.
And it's been really cool, like coming in and you're like working on shit every single day. And it's like, oh man, that's a little hustle right there. That's like, and you're always vlogging. The camera's always got the red light on. It's insane. The movies are happening.
I think that camera. Oh no, that camera's turned off by itself. That camera was recording.
This must be the only time it's ever been turned off.
Honestly,
surely.
the podcast is kind of the only thing I'm not filming. That said, today
There's
I
other
filmed
cameras.
very little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you were so busy.
I was like zooming around.
Yeah.
Didn't have enough hands. But I'd love for you to talk a little bit about the space in general, because I understand why we were like, yeah, we're gonna move into this space. But why did you? Because you obviously like saw this place when it started, and you were like, you saw the vision that was here, because this place did not look like this.
Yeah, no. Well, this, for those at home and for who haven't been here before, this is Vent Space. This is a safe place to create, collaborate, and celebrate in any artistic way that we want to do. Like I figured out a few years ago that like I needed to create things in order to vent my own feelings and stuff like that, to like function as a human being. And I was like, I'm better at doing that if other people are doing that around me. So like very much like I was like I want this for me, you know, like it was kind of like what do I want? I want a cool warehouse, and how the fuck do I afford that? And you know, like, well, what if 30 people want a cool warehouse? Then maybe it'll work. And so like just like organically meeting people like yourself, and bringing this place alive with like different characters and different people coming through with their projects has been like super fun to be, you know, like behind and facilitating all that.
Yeah.
So it's essentially like it's a creative co-working space. There's like 22 residents here now who each pay for a desk spot and a key, and they can come and go as they please. And then there's also like a shooting studio here, so people book out this little warehouse space we're in to do video shoots and photo shoots, and then also we do events, a bit like tonight, but any kind of event that can happen. That's like, this is probably the first live podcast that's happened
I'll
here.
take it. Etch it into the concrete.
Yeah, Frank was here. And then, you know, like there's like raves and art shows. So I think it was an art show that you first came here for.
Photography show,
Yeah,
I think.
yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, so like I've found that like just having a revolving door of creatives means that we all kind of meet new people, and sometimes I'm not in a good mood to meet someone, but like on the whole, it's really awesome being surrounded by young creatives.
Yeah, and I think that's a really big part of why Joe and I were like immediately drawn into this like bubble of creativity. And I think from the moment that we moved in, like our outlook on the show and our outlook on our own creativity completely changed.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, and it was just having...
How so? What do you mean?
Well, there's just so many different creative people here. I think there's some people on the mezzanine up there. Hello, beautiful
There are some people.
Oh, there
that
are.
sneak in.
I like just saw some wiggles going
I
on.
thought you were talking about the paintings. I'm like, you're going crazy.
As Ronald McDonald, I don't remember any of the other ones. The
Someone just
hamburger,
broke out of
and in
prison.
fact, none of the ether people can see that, so
Sorry.
it doesn't matter.
Let's move on.
Creativity. Yeah, there were so many people here that were doing so many different things, and I'd never thought to do any of that. I would never have tried my own screen printing had I not been in this space.
Yeah.
It had nothing to do with I've not seen anyone here do screen printing, but like just being in this space and knowing that there was that opportunity to create and that opportunity to make things was like such a new experience for me. And I don't think I'd had anything like that since like middle school art, where they just give you like paintbrushes and they're like, off you go, make a painting.
I think it's really cool when like when you're someone who's decided to create something, whether it's ongoing or like I'm gonna make a movie or I'm gonna make like a painting, that when you're next to someone doing a different type of art, it's really cool. If you're just around if you're a painter and you're around other painters, you might be like, oh shit, that painting's crazy, or maybe I should make my painting like that painting. But there's no way to like accidentally confuse that when it's like multidisciplinary.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh shit, Frank's like, he's on the 4th iteration of trying to figure out how to print this t-shirt. Like,
and it still didn't work.
hey, this worked. This worked.
Kind of.
kind of.
It's peeling.
It's a
Our process
heat
was
transfer.
to pay someone to do it. I commend you for learning all that stuff.
I'm gonna
You're
figure
gonna
it
do
out.
the enameling
I'm
thing?
gonna
It's
do
gonna
it. It's gonna happen.
I'm keen.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I didn't like that.
Because we can hear it.
Sorry. Yeah.
So having like different people, you know, like I don't do podcasts or vlogs, but like seeing you like just going in week in, week out, like making that happen, using the space in different ways, it's like, it's really cool because it's like, I can take a break from whatever I'm working on that's getting me in my own head and be like, put myself in this person's world and be like, oh yeah, shit, yeah, like colors or like, oh yeah, like just being on time and stuff like that. And then getting back to my own crap.
I will say, I have gotten much worse at being on time since I started vlogging.
Yeah?
Because I take like 5 minutes before I do anything to set up a camera, walk past the camera, go back, get the camera.
Oh yeah,
take
yeah.
and
you
then
gotta
like
get the Casey Neistat shot.
yeah. And then I'm like an hour later and I'm very, very late to the event that I was at. But yeah, is there anything that you're working on that you want to plug, that you want to share before I shove you off?
I think Ian already plugged something about it, but Ian and I are in a band together, and we're playing a show here on the 26th of March. It's for a fashion runway show, and we're going to be playing like the closing act. We've been rehearsing every week, and it's sounding insane.
I was here. Was that last night that you guys were rehearsing?
Yeah.
I was here. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
I was
Thank
vibing.
you.
I was doing a shoot.
There's some rough stuff that we're cleaning up, but we're getting there. So Vent Wave is the band. Vent Wave, Vent Space, named after the same thing.
It's on the case there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So if you like fashion, and live music, you should come to this show. It's called Juniper Magazine Fashion Show.
Hell yeah. I'll link all the stuff in
Hell
all the
yeah.
descriptions.
Hell yeah.
There is no description for you guys, but
This is
it's there. Awesome. Thank you so much,
No
Julian.
worries.
Really
Thanks so much
appreciate
for
you
having
coming
me.
on.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Now I did skip a guest. I know that you're. I know.
good on
I
you.
know. I did that because it flowed a little bit better with what we were talking about.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna get you up now. Well, give me like 15 seconds to work up to it.
For a good segue.
Yeah. But in between that time, we did a couple interviews, and that was like the half turning point for us to be like, okay, we're gonna move to a new space. We're gonna put more time and effort into the podcast. And I think a really big part of that for us was this one interview that we did with this fantastic filmmaker who we both actually went to high school with, which is really, really interesting. But we went to this event. We spoke to him and we got him on the show first, and then we went to an event. But we'll talk about that when he's on stage. So I'd like to invite Mitch King onto stage to join us.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get you to go to that side because I feel like Joe's not getting enough love. Whoa.
Just lost my shirt.
I just want to clear the record. Did you just call me Mitch King?
I did. Did I?
Oh.
Matt King. Oh my god.
Oh,
It's the lights, the stage against you. I understand.
No, you know what? I'm not even going to try to excuse myself. I'm so sorry.
No, that's great.
Thank you, Matt.
It's great hearing all the stories too. Like your approach at a shop. I had a bag pulled over my head, and I woke up in their studio. Like, I was happy I was on the show, but next time something a little less dramatic, please. Thank you.
I'll make that promise to you now.
How you guys going?
Before we do anything at all, I want to acknowledge, really, and he's asked me not to do this, but I'm doing it anyway. I would like to let everyone know that it is Matt's birthday today. Woo!
Are we singing? Are we singing?
No, we're not singing because we can't. We literally will.
Oh, true. Yeah, no.
I hate that song. Please don't sing
It is also legitimately
We will get
copyrighted,
fined.
so
Yeah.
we can't sing it.
Forget that.
That is hilarious.
But it blows my mind that you decided to come here tonight on your
Yeah.
birthday with a broken car, so you had to get a lift to get here. You put so much
Thank you,
effort
David.
into getting here tonight, and we really, really do appreciate it.
Yeah. This is a party. I'm loving it. It's
Woo!
great.
But happy birthday. Thank you for being
Thank
here.
you. Thank you.
But we did this interview with you because you were releasing a short film called Henrietta, which is fantastic.
So good.
And
you.
I'll let
Thank
you do all the plug stuff later because I know that there's some
You can
stuff
send some
coming up.
criticisms via a little incognito.
We'll put an email in that you can.
Yes.
But we did this interview with you, and we spoke to you and your producer, whose name is Mitch.
He's currently in the UK and cannot be here tonight.
Yes.
He was very sad about that. I told him not to go there, but you know,
He's there.
that adventurous producer heart of his, he just had to.
He just couldn't stop.
Yeah.
He had to start getting
I
ready for
warned him
Hen-
about the knives and everything, and still, yeah,
He had to get ready for Henrietta the sequel.
exactly,
Yeah.
which he's scouting for right now. He's not. It's going to be a while until we're going to wait until we get a better budget and everything,
Yeah.
but it's happening.
It's happening.
It's happening.
But
I'm excited.
we did this interview with you, and we talked a lot about your film, and we talked about the process of you creating the film, and it was a fantastic interview. It's probably the most technical interview that we've done.
Sorry about that.
No, it's great.
No, it's like
Needed some of that.
different strokes for different folks, you know?
Yeah.
But I should not have said that. But we did that interview with you, and on that episode, you invited us to the premiere of your short film, Henrietta.
Yes, we did.
And what was
Sorry, I'm still laughing at what you said.
I tried to
you
breeze
said-
past it
No,
as
yeah,
quickly
sorry,
as
sorry.
possible.
You didn't have to acknowledge that I was laughing.
I do, because it's very obvious.
Yeah, I'm done now. Move on.
But yeah, we did this interview and we got invited and we went to this premiere, and I think for us that was also another big turning point.
Yeah.
Because we went to this event and there were all these creative people, and we kind of saw firsthand like this what am I saying? How intense the
Just-
community is.
How great it can be when really talented people all just come together and just it's like you can make anything happen.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's exactly it. Look,
Yeah.
he nailed it. It's
Got
almost
him
like
up
he's a
here for
writer or
I've been
something.
rehearsing
yeah.
this all morning.
Sitting in the car, I'm going to book the shot. But yeah, that was a really big moment for us to be sitting in that theater, and that was the first time for me, at least, sitting in a theater watching a movie that wasn't a like regular cinema movie. Like the closest I've ever gotten to that is like a French film festival or something like that.
It's incredibly emotional getting to see a film you've put your whole year into just on a big screen. Like that's like all those kids who said they wanted to go into film, that's what they had hoped for. And it wasn't quite an hour-long thing, so we couldn't quite justify the price of the tickets, sorry. But 15 minutes, it was great, and it's a very different experience watching the thing over and over again behind an editing...
In an editing bay?
Give me a moment. But seeing it on the big screen, it's a completely different experience. Just rather watching it, just kind of getting to breathe in and kind of get everyone's emotional reactions to the film. People cried in the film. I was not expecting that. That blew my mind. I was like, how can you love this film, let alone Sorry, it's the director talking here. It was a great film, but it took me a while to... It's a great film.
It is a really good film.
Yeah, it was such an amazing experience, just getting that emotion out of people. It's like taking people on an emotional journey through the work you've created. It's a feeling that I can't quite describe. It was nice, yeah.
So you're saying everyone should make a movie and have it screened in a theater and invite all their friends and family to come?
Do it. What's your excuse? Sorry.
But no, I think it's important for us to acknowledge how important that moment was for us as well as creators and as people in the arts.
It was very similar, like coming into this space and seeing all these people doing all these crazy different things, and same thing going to that
and
film.
it means a lot when everyone comes as well. So good on everyone
it
here.
It really
for showing
does
up.
mean a lot.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we're gonna move on because I've just looked at the time and we are very, very quickly running out of it.
Yeah.
But please plug all the stuff.
Well, I've been doing nothing. Okay, that's a lie. I've
That
been
is a lie.
writing, which is nothing. Been looking all over the place trying to get advice from other writers, and it's all the same thing. It's just the abyss of trying to write something and getting depressed while doing so. There's no help out there. All the writers are exactly the same, just sad and... Sorry, I forgot. This is a happy show. But I'm currently halfway through writing 2 things right now that I'm really excited for. One's very ambitious, and the reason I've started the other one is because every time someone looks at it, they're going, "You're not going to make this." I am going to make it. Mark my words. And if you guys want ins, as always,
We always
love to team up.
Always want ins.
But yeah, that's essentially what I'm doing at the moment, just trying to write as much as possible and help any other creatives I know with their projects they're doing. And with anything you guys are up to, I need a job. Please. But yeah, that's pretty much all that's going on in my life. So
You don't want to plug the festival stuff?
Oh, yes, sorry. We recently did a re-edit of Henrietta, and it is going to festivals very soon. We got a bombardment of festivals. They all want Henrietta.
That's awesome. Interesting sentence.
Sorry, what happened? So yes, expect Henrietta to be at festivals soon. Hopefully we get some awards. And yes, it's a very exciting time for us. Yeah.
So we will definitely be there. We'd love to see some of
Yes.
you there. And we will forward all that information, as always. Thank you so much for
Thank
joining
you
us.
guys. And hang around.
Namaste. So then after that, we kind of moved into the space. We had all this great stuff happening. In between all of that, and while all of that was happening, I reconnected with a friend of mine from uni, which was something that I did not expect to happen at all. And we invited him on the podcast, and he came on, and we had the most interesting discussions about movies and writing and directing and just creating in general.
Yeah.
And then about 2 weeks later, I messaged him and asked him to join me on a project, and then he messaged me and he asked me to join me. He asked me to join him on a project.
Yep.
There we go. We got there.
Yeah, okay.
And it became this whole thing, and then we've just been creating and creating and creating, and he's come on the podcast again. So I would love to invite onto the stage Samuel Rees, our little man in the shadows holding the camera. What side would you like? What side would you like? Oh, it's not
That's
on.
turn it on.
Go on ahead.
I'll go this side to equal it out. Also,
All right.
your mum wants me to
Beautiful.
slap you. Do you want me to do that?
Where, on the face or?
Yeah, on the face.
I don't know.
On
Where
the
do you want me
face.
to?
All right.
Here we go. Put the mic down. No.
Are you actually going to hit me, or are you going to do a little baby slap?
I'll do an actual hit.
All right, let me
Who
get-
wants a real hit?
This is
Hang on,
not
wait,
where I
get
saw this
this-
show
here,
going.
If
my
I knock you out,
goodness.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, I'm okay.
All right.
Okay, I'm putting this mic. Wait, I'm gonna get this in the audio.
Oh, that's turned.
This is on you.
This is
Here we
actually
go.
on you. If I hurt your son, I'm really
All right.
sorry.
Let's do it.
Yo!
Woo! All right.
That might have been a little bit of inner frustration.
All right. I'm giving that. I'm taking. Oh, hang on.
Inner frustration of projects they're working on currently.
Why did
I'm
you
sorry,
ask him
I
to do
love
that?
you. Oh my god. You just spiced up your show. God.
Made it a little bit more exciting. That was a good little moment.
Thank you. It was a good little moment. We've had a lot of good little moments
We've had
over
a lot.
last
That
year.
is not the first time you've slapped me on camera. Either.
actually isn't, which is great.
I think
Yeah,
it's
I've
the
done it.
third.
Holy
Second.
fuck, it is. And I did
Third.
slap your ass before, so you know there's a lot going on.
It doesn't end.
It doesn't
never
end.
ends. But I don't know how to segue out of this. Sam is a fantastic filmmaker and someone that I've been kind of watching on the sidelines for a very long time in a completely normal and platonic way. And so we went to uni together for a little bit and we
Yeah.
bonded in this drawing class as the only two non-visual artists in this drawing class.
I hated it
It was terrible.
so bad.
It was like part of this degree was that you had to do drawing classes and we couldn't do it. You were doing film, I was doing... Were you doing film?
No, theatre and performance, just like
yeah,
you.
so we were both doing theatre and performance.
Why the fuck, to be a theatre actor, do you need to know how to draw? At what point are you going up on a Broadway show, on a theatre show, and drawing?
At least not in a way that anyone's going to see the actual
No.
drawing. But then, to be totally honest, I've never said this on record, but I did
No, you
think...
have.
Have I?
Yeah, you said it today, yesterday.
What was yes? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I did it on your podcast.
Yeah.
He also has a podcast. It's called Crambles. You should go check it out. That was an episode yesterday. Yeah, I plugged for you. I got you. But I did think he was a bit of a dick when I met him. And I didn't want to talk to him. And then 2 years later, we reconnected and we started working on all these projects together. And Sam has been a really, really big part of Joe and I creating all these new projects and building stuff. Sam has become the man in the shadows and the man in the limelight, all wrapped in one beautiful little package with a mustache almost as good as mine. Almost. But I just wanted to pull you up. I don't have anything specific to share about our experience with you because your interview has been one of the most casual and friendly that we've done.
Always, yeah. I touted the AFP. That was the thing.
You did. The Australian
baited
Federal
the Australian
Police.
Federal
Yeah.
Police on your podcast, which was a thing. And then I tagged them on Instagram,
Yeah.
which they did see the story, and I was really scared for a little bit there. And I did throw out the pills that were in my top drawer.
Allegedly.
So if you are watching this again, where's the camera? They're gone now.
Yeah.
There's somewhere in the Brisbane City Council landfill. So
Thank you for that.
No problem.
Plug your podcast, plug your stuff. I don't have much
Well,
else to share.
we have a few things that we're doing, but they're not going to come out for until about the middle of this year.
Yeah.
Our projects. But personally, at the moment, Crambles is back again. We just got picked up by 4ZZZ, which Frunky Boy will be coming on for us. So we'll be networked now, which is nice. That was cool. I
forgot you had the camera.
Yeah, I still got it here. You guys can say hello to it, by the way. It's over the behind the scenes. So, then we've got a short film coming out called The List. We've got a youth festival that was Brisbane Youth Film Festival, but we low-key were told not to do it because Brisbane International Film Festival,
Yeah.
biff, not good. So that's got to be renamed. But then, other than that, I've got a feature film that's still in writing. I didn't know that we all had to be sad, but I guess I will try to be sad. And then, yeah, I was doing YouTube stuff for a little bit, but I kind of have stopped and more focused on podcast, documentary, film festival, a few things for Brisbane City Council, and then, the feature film. So
Yeah.
that's pretty much it, yeah.
Great plug. Also,
Sexy.
go check out his podcast, Crambles.
Thank
My
you.
episode is out. My episode is out right now.
It is out, yeah. I put it out before this so that people could come, but yeah, it's really
Perfect.
cool.
Go listen to the episode that I'm on if you want to hear me talk.
Pretty
more.
chaotic. All right,
But I think
bye.
after that
Even
you'll be done.
more.
Thank you, Sam.
See
we
you
really
later.
appreciate you. I'm just doing a really quick little...
Yeah, it's a.
I think that's all our past guests. Yeah, we've definitely worked our way
Yeah.
through everyone.
Okay.
With 5 minutes to spare.
Whoa.
Look at us go. We're
Man,
crushing it.
That flew.
Is it just me or are we crushing this right now?
I think it's just. Oh, we're crushing it.
Sorry, I was talking to Joe, actually.
This is an interactive show.
Speaking of interactive, I do want to finish the show by answering some of the questions out of the
Yes.
bucket.
I'm excited.
Everyone that walked in here tonight this is a ticketless event, completely free, but the ticket to entry was that they had to write a question on a piece of paper, which is now in a bucket.
Sorry. For the people who aren't here. Think about them.
I'm going to restart that.
Okay, yeah, you do that again.
Questions in bucket. Bucket are questions that people have written. Now we have bucket. Get question from bucket, answer question.
Now?
Why need many word when few word do trick? Yeah, go ahead.
Now?
Yeah, grab one.
Okay.
What's
I'm going to rustle it more.
Yeah,
I'll just grab
give
the
us some,
first
give
one
us some
I saw.
rustles. Maybe even some Ians.
I'm scared. I saw some people rubbing their hands.
That was such a
when
niche joke. Sorry, carry on.
I didn't hear it, and I'm going to...
I got 2 laughs in the corner.
Who of you two has the best hair?
Oh, you do.
Should we let the audience decide?
It's Joe. I don't even need to.
Oh. There's, I think
Okay,
me.
you're his girlfriend. That doesn't count.
But that was the only answer, so that's... yeah, it's me.
Yeah, I'm not even going to fight that.
Not even going to contest that. Get a haircut. No.
Why do you get to pull another one?
Wait, oh, sorry.
No, I'm not. It's not a... Yeah, thank you. All right. I reckon we both do 2, and then we call it there.
Okay, I'm
All
throwing
right.
this
Mine
over.
says... What has been your favorite part of doing the podcast? Wow, a real question. That's
a good one.
lovely. I didn't expect any
We
of
should
those.
do 2 real questions.
We should- in all seriousness, the reason that I wanted to start doing the podcast and the reason that I roped Joe into doing the podcast in the first place was because I hadn't really seen him for a year. And Joe and I have been friends since like middle school, and all through middle school and high school, we'd been doing performances together, and we'd been on stage, and we'd been doing music, and all this stuff, and we were like every single day we were creating things together and spending time together. In that first year out of high school, when we were both in uni and we were both doing other things, we hung out maybe twice.
Yeah.
And so on my we were 19 because it was my 19th birthday party. I came up with a really, really good excuse to hang out with Joe once a week, every week. And that's how the podcast started.
Yeah.
So my favorite part of doing the podcast has been having a really, really good excuse to hang out with my best friend every day.
Oh, that's so cute.
Also getting famous, obviously.
Yeah. Right, next question.
Okay.
This has got a drawing on it.
Oh, that's...
That's a drawing. It says, what's with the mustache?
I think that's for you, actually.
For me. It's getting there, right, guys?
You're getting there. You're
Doing this
getting
for
there.
3 years.
The mustache, genuine answer, the mustache started as a Movember thing. And then
And I said keep it.
you said keep it, and I met too many people in that month that had never met me before that I thought that it would be weird to shave it. And now it's definitely going to be weird for me to shave it. So I think I've
In
kind
too
of...
deep now.
I'm in too deep. But I'll keep it trimmed. It's just... I'm sorry. I'm assuming that was my mother that wrote that question. But it's staying. I apologize. All right. I think we do one more each.
Okay.
I think you've had more. That one sucks. It was Marvel or DC. I don't want to choose.
Marvel.
Sorry. How has your time at VentSpace been? We already talked about this.
So
it's been
good.
really, really good. And
The
it's
best.
been one of the biggest creative changes in our lives, I think.
Yes.
And it's all in all been absolutely fantastic. All right, last question. And then we really, really have to wrap it up.
Okay, this one, which is half. No, that's a bad one. Hold on, one more.
I want to read this one now.
That was a no, I have no
Oh, it
question.
literally says, I have no question.
Oh,
Thanks.
this is a good one. Where do you see the Froe Show in 5 years?
On YouTube. You can see it at youtube.com/The Froe Show.
All right, thanks for coming, guys. I don't know. Do you have an answer?
Oh, sorry, I just realized I totally forgot something.
Okay.
You know what? You answer this question. I will be right back.
Where do I see it in 5 years? Look, well, from the beginning, I never thought this would even come this far, so I don't even know if... Like, I don't even see the scope for it to go that long. I actually don't know what's going to happen week to week most of the time. I don't know. Probably in our own studio. That'd be sick. If we were in our own space and we had people coming in every other week and Frank is back with a
Well,
bag.
that was way louder than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like to get bogged up in like numbers and stuff or analytics, so...
If we did, we would have stopped at 10.
Yeah.
And we would have stopped at 50.
Yeah, I don't know. All I had really for that question was be in our own space.
Yeah.
Maybe New York, that'd be sick.
Yeah.
Imagine an
That'd be
apartment
dope.
space in New York.
We can make it happen.
We can do that.
We can do it.
5 years, yeah, we can do that.
We can do that. All right. I realized immediately just now, as we answered that question, because I was like, oh man, we're wrapping up, and I have to. I made a promise on my Instagram story like 6 weeks ago that I was going to wear something on the podcast, and I just realized that I totally forgot to put it on and wear it, so I have to fulfill my promise.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get you to do like any wrap-up stuff, talk to these people, and just like...
What wrap-up stuff is there?
Well, do you think we can we do the question that we normally do, questions that we normally do at the end of the episode, but just like bring the mic to some random people?
Well, we won't do random. If you don't want to talk, we won't make you talk.
No, we will.
I won't. He might.
Okay.
Yeah, but we'll twist it slightly.
I'll put the thing on right at the end and we'll do the wrap up that way.
Okay. So normally we'll ask guests these at the end of our show. And one of them is there anything you wish you could have talked about on the show, a story you wish you could have said, something you wish we'd brought up? So I want to twist that slightly. Is there something that you wish we had talked about? Or a story you want us to tell, wish we'd told, something you were expecting that didn't happen? Can be anything, it can be random.
If
we don't have to have one.
no one asks a question, it's going to get real awkward in about 30
awkward,
seconds.
And that's on you guys.
All right.
Yeah.
Give it to Mitchell over there.
Mitchell.
By the way, I'm not insulted by that at all. I've done that heaps of times. Please don't think I'm insulted by that. I haven't actually watched a lot of your podcasts, admittedly. Sorry.
That's okay.
But one of the ones I watched, you said that you had this goal and you'd made like 100 so films or something. When you said film, did you mean like your podcasting, your tutorial videos and stuff? And if so, what is your definition of film?
Whoa, this is a good question.
He's got me. He's got me in his trap.
Film is the stuff that you put on the spool as it rolls off. We film it. Sorry, I had to.
Yes, I have achieved that goal now. So my definition of film / movie is any one piece of moving picture that tells a story in one way or another, which I have achieved. I currently have 117 movies that are exclusively my own on my YouTube channel, and we have something like 170 on the podcast channel itself.
That's okay.
No, I understand that. But on the whole, I think I personally have achieved that goal. And I think if one of those at any point in my life is seen by someone and it provides them value in one way or another, then I'll be happy. I'll have achieved my goal. Thank you. You should all watch my movies.
Yes, you should.
youtube.com/c/Frank Mencken. You know what? I just realized we've forgotten one other massive thing.
I also remembered something.
You just dinged.
Is it
Do
the
you
same
want
thing?
It might be.
Well, we've talked to all our guests and seen where they've come from when they came on the show and what they're doing now.
Yeah.
But I don't know what you're doing now and where you came from at the beginning of the show. For some, I imagine a lot of people here haven't seen that progression.
Oh, true. That is not at all where I was
Okay.
going.
Well,
we can run through that really quickly.
touch on that because I'm certainly doing a lot of different stuff than I was back when we started the show. And same with you. Making movies every day.
Yeah. I was
where were you when you started?
A photographer when we started, then I became a photo videographer, and then a videographer, and now I would call myself a filmmaker. So it's been a very long 2-year progression, but I think it's really interesting looking back on all those episodes and seeing that happen in real time.
Yeah.
It's been really cool. But
cool.
You go, because we really need to
I was studying when we started. I had no idea what I was talking about. And then got out of study, and now I work in radio. And yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at. So I'm working part-time radio and then doing this sort of stuff as well.
Hell yeah. No,
Right, what did you forget?
My thing was, a show of hands, how many people here currently have their phone on them and it has Spotify on their phone?
Good.
Awesome.
what I
We
like
want
to
to
see.
run a little experiment here, because very rarely do we have a lot of people in the room together at one time, And we thought that it would be funny to see if we could try and break Spotify's algorithm. Because this is my theory, right? I'm gonna tell you my theory, and then we really have to wrap up
Yes.
because
Sorry, this is...
there's
gone.
yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, my theory is that the Spotify ratings for podcasting is decided on how many ratings it gets in a certain period of time and what those ratings are. So my theory is that if we have like 30 people at one time all rate the podcast 5 stars at the same time, that it's like in 24 hours we'll be on like the top 50 podcast list.
Hey, I like
So
it.
everyone needs to get on their phones right now and rate the podcast on Spotify
5 stars.
5 stars, at least 4.
At least 4. You go to
Spotify.
the Froe Show. If it doesn't come up, you might have to hit thingy.
Give it like maybe a good 3.5.
3.5.
Yeah.
3.5. 2.5 if you didn't like tonight. No, don't do that. That's bad advice.
No, I see some people pointing at.
People
they're
are
like
ignoring
pointing them at me now. So just like show us your
Go.
screens and then we'll let you leave afterwards.
This was to get you in. That's to get you out.
All right. Well, let's wrap it up now while everyone's doing this. Seriously, it means the absolute world to us to see you guys here, experiencing the show in person, and I can't believe that we managed to fill all the seats that we put out tonight. We put out about half of this, and then we went, maybe we should put out a couple more just in case. And our just in case has exceeded our expectations. So seriously, thank you for coming tonight. It means the absolute world to us.
Thank you.
Now,
Right.
to finish up, we have a tradition on the show with all of our guests. And bad. The tradition is that when we have a guest on the show, we at the end of every episode, we say bye, 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 and then we press that button right there, the little pink one.
Yep.
When we have a guest, we get the guest to say the last bye. When we get 4 guests, we get them to say 2 byes. It gets really complicated the more people there are. I pitched to Joe earlier today that we should get everyone to say bye in order, but apparently that's not a good idea. So what we're going to do
all night.
is I'm going to say bye, Joe's going to say bye, and then everyone at once is going to say bye. Okay? We can do that? Awesome.
But who's pressing the button?
That was my follow-up question. Would anyone like to press the button? Chris,
Yep.
come on up. Actually, this is fantastic. Come here, Chris. Come here. Get Chris a microphone really quickly.
Here. Hello, I'm Chris.
Chris has been our only Patreon subscriber for the past 2 years.
Yeah. Hell yeah, man. This is awesome.
Well,
Wow.
and now you're on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is crazy. I never thought this would happen.
No, seriously, it really does mean the world to us. So it makes sense that you get to press the button.
Oh my
So what I'm
God.
going to do is I'm gonna
I'm gonna
get
swap
out of
seats
your
with you.
way
You sit here.
and put on my hoodie.
You sit there.
Joe, can you walk him through the button while I put this on because I promised
just moved.
Instagram that I would.
I just moved. Okay. The button is this pink one here.
Big pink one.
That pink one.
That big pink one?
Yep.
I'm going to push it. When?
When after everyone says bye.
Okay.
So Frank will say bye, I will say bye, then you guys all say bye, and then
This thing is
Hit
so
the button.
unbelievably hot.
that looks very warm. That's sick though.
I can't take that chair back, can I?
Oh.
Sorry, Chris. My bad.
Yeah, it's a mess up here. We're just a mess.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All right. I'm going to do the wrap up. Thank you so much for coming tonight. It has been one of the best episodes we've ever done, probably the best episode. And seeing all of your faces here tonight is something that we never expected to do. So we hope that this is the start of many more live shows in the future.
Yep.
And hopefully now that people see that this is actually like a proper real event and not just like in a garage somewhere.
Yeah.
And no one's going to get stabbed. Hopefully we can convince more people to show up. But seriously, thank you so much. I'm going to do the wrap up now. I'm going to talk to camera. It's going to be really weird for everyone that's here, but it'll make sense for everyone at home. All right, are we ready? Remember, you have to say bye at the end as well. So it's bye, button.
Button. Big pink button.
Can you
Big.
say that back to me?
Bye. Button.
Got it. All right.
Sweet. Okay.
All right, I'm going to do it now. Ready? Thank you so much for listening to or watching this episode of The Froe Show. That was episode 100. This was the live show. Really hope we get to do this again. Thank you so much for spending your time with us, and we will see you next week. Bye.
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 Awesome.
Very cool. Alrighty. So sick.